arriving in New Jersey today after to plan counter-programming of the J6 hearings with Elise Stefanik, my fucking leader, dude. My real president, okay? He did the double dick suck. He did the double dicks. God, what a fucking king. What a legend. What a 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 king. What a legend. Oh, what a god. Oh, what a god. What a god. What a god. What a god. He's on New Jersey soil. Hate that. He's blessing New Jersey soil. The J6, for the record, the J6 meetings are like, I guess they're kind of a big deal. I haven't really paid attention to what the fuck's going on, but like people are getting arrested now. You have the isn't that song about a gay club? What, YMCA? I think so, but Trump hair is looking real thin there. Might have to help him out. Yeah, there's like a primetime January 6th thing happening, right? Just fire our state into the sun and let it burn. We'll take the O's if it means to take Cheeto with us. No, dude. Joe Brandon couldn't even handle one dick the way Trump handles two with ease. Greatest president in history. I agree. Our favorite lib CIA agent talks about inflation. Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll watch it. The J6 hearing starts tomorrow night. Will you cover it live? I'm not going to do a 24-hour coverage of it, but I will actually cover it. I'll afford some coverage to it because, you know, I love the prospect of Republicans going to jail. I do think that that's pretty sick. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a fan of that stuff. And I want to see, like, you know, I basically just want to see what happens to Republicans. Like, will they ever see repercussions? Like, will they ever actually see what happens when, you know, you do like a seditionist insurrection? They're making it sound pretty serious. Watergate level revelations, probably. Nah, I don't think so. Even the libs don't care about January 6th. I think people have moved on from it. I mean, it would be cool to see some of these motherfuckers go to jail, though. Oh, this is awesome. Speaking of gun nuts, dude, Blake Masters apparently attacked a 73-year-old man.
Put down your book. Put down your
No. Hey, get him out of here. Hey.
Blake Masters is the closest to a school shooter we can get, by the way. Like, if you're like, hey, I spend all my time on Reddit and Discord servers, okay? If you're like, hey, I'm a white guy with like super long and very straight hair, and I look like a school shooter, and I want that kind of representation in Congress, Blake Masters is the person for you, okay? Straight up. I mean, my man is literally the most school shooter looking motherfucker I have ever seen in my entire life. Now, he's a Peter Thiel guy.
This is a short-barreled rifle. It wasn't designed for hunting. This is designed to kill people. But if you're not a bad guy, I support your right to own one. The Second Amendment is not about duck hunting. It's about protecting your family and your country. What's the first thing the Taliban did when Joe Biden handed them Afghanistan? They took away people's guns.
Dude, this is so ominous, dude. It's so fucking ominous. Also, what do you mean when you say he's a Peter Thiel guy? He's racist? Oh, he's one of Peter Thiel's fucking blood boys. Like J.D. Vance. Like, J.D. Vance got too fat for Peter Thiel to suck the blood of directly. So then, like, he had to move on to a different blood boy. So he was like, Blake Masters, like, you look like the type of guy who still runs like triathlons and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, he has a typical build of a guy who wears those like incredibly short shorts, and his legs are somehow still too skinny for those short shorts, and it looks like his ball sack is gonna drop from one side. You know, he's like clearly working out still. So Peter Thiel is sucking his blood instead. Yeah, for inseam. JD Vance became whole milk. He likes his blood 2% or lower. Exactly.
That's how it works. I'm Blake Masters. I'm running for the U.S. Senate in Arizona, and I approve this message because without gun rights, before long, you have no rights.
He's also a sharpshooter too, which makes it even worse. Hey Twitter, voice of reason here. I just ordered $60 worth of McDonald's. The McDonald's in Marana, Arizona got rid of human cashiers. Your only option is a self-serve kiosk. Giant step backwards for our society. Takes like 20 minutes to order $57 of food. A quarter pounder burger, not meal, is $6.50 in Joe Biden's economy. Bring back the humans. Blake Masters went and got $60 worth of McDonald's, bro. Just like absolute psycho shit, okay? Took him 20 minutes to interface with the fucking robots because he himself is a robot, okay? Last plug, peak State Department shit. Inspiring wave of recent advertisements you've seen with Zoomer aesthetics. What is this? Forward observations groups? Forward observations archives? What the fuck is this?
Question. If you were to die right now, how would you feel about your life?
I don't know. I wouldn't feel anything good about my life. Is that what you want to hear me say? But look at you! You're fucking pathetic!
Stop trying to control everything and just let go. Let go!
Hey, fine.
What is happening? I don't broke my fucking computer. I don't know what you're showing me there, Hassan. Looks like he would have a low monotone Minecraft YouTuber voice. I do. A 12-year-old boy robs a gas station with a gun. Oh yeah.
Money in the bag. What? Money in the bag. Are you serious? Yeah. Here, get out, Mike. Here, take it.
I saw this. Crazy stuff. It was Blake Masters' alt YouTube account. I don't know if that's the case, but will you be covering the January 6th trials? Maybe. Holy shit, he's about that. Bro, he didn't even have a fucking balaclava on, dude. Kids these days, bro. Zoomers are getting fucking way more. He's so young that the camera footage blurred his fucking face, like when people released it. But also, like, what kind of fucking pistol jams after one shot, dude? What happened? This dude watched too much fucking... This kid watched way too much GTA RP, dude. He watched XQC way too much, okay? I know video games don't cause violence, but... God damn. A high point pistol? This is what happens when you watch Jean Paul one day, and then you watch XQC gamble the other day, and then you lose all your money in a fucking crypto gambling website. So you have to rob, like Jean Paul, a gas station with your pappy's pistol to continue supporting your crypto gambling habits. Oh man. European chatter move with literally everything you show equals Monka W. He's going to use that on stake. Did you hear about the Greg Abbott canvasser who was fired for laughing at Greg Abbott? Republicans on their cancel culture shit. Monique Dawson says she was fired after she joked with a man who said he'd never back governor for re-election. What?
Hi, are you Mr. Whitfield?
Yes.
I'm not volunteering for Greg Abbott, and we wanted to know if we count on your support for his upcoming election.
Absolutely not.
Everybody got to have a job, sir. Remember? Thank you for
Thank-
your support or not support.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
God damn, dude. Okay. Dude, what's up with these fucking videos like where the voice is so loud? It's like he uploaded the video and got her fired. Yeah, she was just trying to. Dude, your desktop's like 5 times louder than me. Yeah, I think something fucking happened to my my audio settings again. It happens randomly. There's no way to fucking fix it, unfortunately. Better supporters raised $20K for her. It's your volume management. Last videos were loud as fuck, lol. No, dude. I've never had these kinds of fucking issues before. It's a new thing. Here, let's watch this inflation video by CIA's very own
no
Johnny
cool intro,
Harris.
no fancy music. I just want to explain inflation in 6 minutes. I have a degree in economics. I spent years trying to understand this.
Bro, this motherfucker always has to have, I swear to God, he always has to have like multiple fucking like points of him pointing to like papers, cutting papers with like a, I don't know. He's always got to show you the proof.
So let's see if I can boil it down. What is inflation? Why is it rising? Why are people worried? And what do interest rates have to do with
The
it?
Federal Reserve is raising the
Fed is
interest
set
rate
to raise interest rates.
Highest inflation in 40 years.
Listen, I know that I make long videos. I'm into nuance. I'm into backstory. Well, this isn't that. This is quick. No, really, this is quick. Let's go.
Hate watcher? No, I'm not a hate watcher. I'm a love watcher.
Rewind. Hold on 1 second. Before we start the timer, I need to tell you that I was going to do an ad read in the middle of the explanation. Like I was going to stop the explanation and do an ad read, but I realized I want this to be an uninterrupted 6-minute explanation. So I'll even take out the YouTube ads that are on it so that it can be uninterrupted. But for now, I need to thank today's sponsor because it's literally my job. It's how I get paid. Thank you, BetterHelp, for supporting and click 6 minutes. Here we go. Okay, first up, the simplest definition. Inflation is when there is more money in the economy than stuff to spend it on. But if you're like me, the simplest definition never does it for you. So let's try this. Imagine a village that has one market where people buy all of their stuff, their food, their clothes. But one day the government shows up because they're worried about the economy of this village. So they tell the people that if they
10 House Republicans voting with D's to raise assault rifle age to 21. No fucking shot. Are you serious? Oh, House Republicans. Oh my God. Oh Jesus, dude. I thought you meant fucking Senate. I was like freaking out. Dude, it's the House. They don't even need to. Who gives a fuck? Like, for a second I thought you meant like in the Senate. The Republicans are voting along. Why you gotta do that, bro? The song gonna be wrong again. Jay, dude, I don't give a fuck. I would love to be wrong every goddamn day for the rest of my fucking life, as long as like I have a pessimistic attitude and like the government is actually doing things, okay?
They want to take out a loan, and they're going to make sure that the banks will not charge them a high interest rate. They want to encourage the people to take out loans and spend money. Oh, and they also drop off a giant pile of cash for everyone in the village. And everyone in the village is like, sweet, I'm feeling pretty rich. Villagers now are going to their market and they're buying way more stuff. Many of them have been eyeing the fancy electric bike in the market that before they couldn't justify, but now they totally can because they have all this new money. The store owner's like, sweet, this is great for business, but he's running out of bikes. In fact, he's running out of everything because now all of these people have extra money and they're buying way more than they used to. The store owner's like, I can't keep up with all this demand. I should raise prices. And that is inflation. But the village is all of us, and the market is the entire economy. When there's extra money floating around and people want to spend it faster than businesses can make stuff, then all of the businesses in all of the industries raise their prices, and that is inflation. It's a natural part of the economy. It's kind of a good thing in small doses because it means that the economy is growing, and it's why movie tickets used to be 25 cents and now they're like $15. And slowly over time, it's fine. Okay, let's go back to the village and see what happens if we keep going at this rate. The store owner has now doubled his prices on bikes. The interest rate is super low, so he takes out a loan to build a new factory to make bikes. This is good. He's growing a business. But the government money eventually runs out, and his prices are still double. But now the store...
This is such a typical econ 101 answer for this. And yet, if it was so simple, how the fuck is it duping economists over and over again? Like, I don't understand. Like, something has to be fundamentally wrong about this, right? Anyway.
Owner has no one to come buy all of his new bikes. And now he has this factory and more employees, but no customers. He has to shut...
No, the shortage of... Okay, a couple things happened over the course of the pandemic, okay? Obviously, the supply chains that are very fragile because they have completely eliminated redundancy. The just-in-time supply chains are incredibly fucking fragile. So when that happened, and people started panic buying in the beginning, there was a lot more demand and not enough supply. And then there was a lot less demand immediately after for so many. There was a lot less demand for immediately after for so many other goods. Obviously, those were some of the factors that played into it that completely eviscerated the supply chains that we had. But supply and demand is not perfect in the way that econ theorists claim it is. Especially considering that, for example, corporations' profits have not actually fallen in this process.
Shut down the factory, lay off everyone, and slowly start lowering his prices.
I mean, he basically glances over profit-seeking in the process where he talks about how he needs to increase the costs because more people are buying it. So it's speculative. It's speculation that like more people are going to purchase these items. So he's increasing the cost. Everyone is doing that, and that's where and that's a big part of the reason.
Called recession. When COVID shut down the world, governments gave us money, free money. They're like, don't panic and hoard all your money. Instead, spend and borrow and keep the economy going. Here in the US, they literally sent us $3,200 checks. They gave $600 a week to people who were unemployed for months and months and months. They gave subsidies to people with kids. They increased spending on food stamps. I mean, trillions and trillions of dollars of stimulus money. This was vital aid to people in need. But even people who didn't lose a job got a check in the mail. It was free money for everyone. And we spent it.
I just picked up myself a new bike. Demand is up across the country.
It's time to grind, Peloton.
We all just got these big checks from the government. During a pandemic, we're like, YOLO, I'm buying a boat or a Peloton or whatever.
Pokemon cards.
There's Netflix.
Fortnite. A new motor.
Peloton. Good soak in a hot tub.
Animal Crossing.
Push it out a little bit so it's
I don't think he's wrong about this, by the way. Like, there was an asset bubble Part of the reason why cryptos popped the fuck off in this process is quite literally what he's describing. People had disposable income for the first time ever, with nowhere else to pay. You didn't have any goods or services you could pay for, so you started buying dumb shit. Obviously, the boat thing is an exaggeration, but he's not wrong about that. He's actually not wrong about that at all.
Don't you dare!
But pair all this new spending with the fact that the pandemic also made it harder for factories and ships and retailers to get us all this stuff.
Supply chain issue.
Global supply chain.
Supply chain.
So now you have an economy where people have way more money than normal and they're ready to spend it, but the economy can't get them stuff fast enough. So what do businesses do with all this insane new demand? They raise prices all at the same time, and that is inflation. I feel like we're getting this at this point. But what do interest rates have to do with all this?
Raising the interest rate.
Interest rate.
Or the Fed?
Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve.
Most countries have a central bank, the puppet master of the economy, the bank of all banks for that country. But it's not like a normal bank that stores our money and then lends it out and collects interest to make profit. That's what a normal private bank does. The central bank, which we call the Fed here in the US, is run by the government. So their job is to set the rules or policies that all the other banks have to follow. And the central bank isn't motivated by profit, but rather their job is to babysit the economy, to keep it growing, to make sure people have jobs, to make sure that prices don't fluctuate too much so that we can keep growing nicely. No slowdown, no recession. That is what the Fed is there for. But seriously, the Fed is like a puppet master, and we are the puppets, and it's kind of creepy. They pull strings in the economy to get us to spend our money in a certain way, which in turn affects how much businesses raise or drop their prices. And guess what? It totally works. One of the strings that they have to pull in the economy is called the interest rate. Want to borrow money to buy a car or a house or expand your business? You're going to be way more likely to do that if you only have to pay 2% interest on that loan as opposed to like 6%. Lower interest rates equal people and businesses want to borrow and spend money. So during the pandemic, the central bank was like, we need everyone to spend money. So they lowered the interest rate and people borrowed and people spent, and it totally worked.
Yeah, totally. That's the only time the interest rate was lowered. Bro, that's crazy. Okay, this part I don't actually, I mean, I agree with the theory, but the idea that like we haven't been doing quantitative easing for the past, what, like fucking 20 years? What the fuck? Like, that's, the fuck are you talking about, dude? What do you mean? Inflation has steadily increased regardless, but also on top of that, it skyrocketed this past fucking year.
We're like freaking puppets. So a low interest rate helps stimulate the economy, but once again, we're in this same place where there's now too much money to borrow and spend and not enough goods and services to spend it on. So what do businesses do all at the same time? They raise prices to meet all this new demand all at the same time, and now your money is worth less, and that is inflation.
Home prices rising at their highest
Astronomical bidding wars.
Rents are going up
by nearly 24%.
So that's what's happening right now. All the prices are rising kind of at the same time. What that means is that your $100 bill is now worth 8% less than it was last year. Like the same money is worth less because your purchasing power just got diluted. And imagine if that keeps happening. Like instead of 8%, it's 50%. Now your $100 bill is worth what $50 used to be. And that's when people start to freak out. And our economy that's built on human psychology starts to falter, and we fall into a recession or a depression even, if it gets real bad, which is exactly what the Fed is built to avoid. So they're back to pulling their strings, and they've started raising rates.
The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates.
The Federal Reserve taking action to try and curb rising inflation.
They're gently raising the interest rate to cool down all of this hardcore spending and borrowing. See if they can steer the ship back on course. And let's hope it works. Okay, did we do it? Did we do it in the time period that I promised I would? I have no idea. We'll find out. Okay, last thing I want to say is a thing that didn't make it into my little...
Companies raise prices regardless, okay? Inflation happens regardless of whether you have more money in circulation or not, regardless of whether you have enough spending power or not. The asset bubble definitely played a role, But ultimately, the main problem there is profit seeking. The main issue in that circumstance is treating the economy like a naturally occurring phenomena that is completely devoid of any kind of like outside influence. Mainly, for example, another cooling mechanism that no one fucking seems to talk about is taxes. Okay, the only way to combat inflation is not the increasing of interest rates, which is fine. You can do that as well. But it's also fucking taxes, dude. It's not $2,000 checks that fucking people got when you have like trillions of dollars being pumped into the market, and also another fucking billion being given in the form of PPP so that fucking small business owners can go buy yachts. The motherfuckers didn't buy yachts with their $2,000 checks. They bought yachts with the PPPs. There's going to be a certain point. There's going to be a certain fucking place where like everyone has to be like, okay, maybe this entire economy based on speculation with like every fucking corporation functionally becoming like a financial institution is probably not the best thing, especially considering the reality that the people that fucking control the levers of economy, control the levers of the market, that own all of the fucking assets are personally sidestepping the government and not paying taxes, and instead engaging in buy, borrow, die, which is basically just swapping money. Instead of giving the money that you were supposed to give to the government, using your assets as collateral to take money out of the bank and then paying the bank back in the form of interest rates. Or like you're literally taking, and instead of giving money to the fucking government, you're giving the money back to the fucking financial institution at a much lower rate. And because of that, banks will offer you super fucking low interest rate loans regardless, especially if you have that. This guy looks like a Mormon. He's an ex-Mormon. Every dollar printed by the Fed has an inherent debt attached to it that the government owes the Fed. Inflation is baked into the system. They don't own all the assets. They own most of them, but I'm going to get mad at the relatively small amount you have in a home which you live. Yeah, no, that's stupid as fuck. But basically, that is the reality. Your take is so bad when it comes to inflation. Shaking my head. There's a huge difference between 2% and 8% inflation. Oh my God, your econ takes are so bad. What do you mean? Your econ takes so bad, shaking my head. Your econ takes so bad, shaking my head. Explain what you mean instead of fucking crying in the chat. I'm giving you the opportunity to speak your truth, my friend. The one thing that is maintained, the one thing that has like been the exact same, if not fucking skyrocketed, is the rate of profit. Okay, profits have grown dramatically throughout this entire time. Part of that is because companies, corporations, everyone personally fucking what the fuck? Stav got food poisoning? No way. That's so funny.